beast of the four beasts. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts.
Hello, folks. Mission Board, USAGSA. I've got a story for you that's unbelievable. The headline read,
the man killed in a standoff with SWAT in Saucier Wednesday say he was paranoid and believed someone was trying to kill him.
Headline read, a Saucier man, it's Saucier, Mississippi. It's down in South Mississippi. It was killed in a SWAT standoff. But this last part of the sentence should grab everybody's attention. It did mine. He was killed in a SWAT standoff, suffered delusions, family says. And so goes the rest of the world, folks, with the news framing up a horrible story, a tragedy, and they're making the family look crazy. And they did this story on Jason Simmons. I've got Jason's mother and father, Brian and Cynthia, with me, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about where the sheriff was in this. I didn't see him. They didn't interview him. Usually they've got something to say, chime in on the deal, but he hadn't weighed in. So we've got a classic case, folks, of criminals with badges and a coward for a sheriff. They had got the moral fortitude to be able to face the family during the crisis, after the crisis, and he just remained mum about the whole deal. And but we're not, so that's what's going on. Before I jump into it, in the description of this video is my link tree, and I give you some of the other links to some of the platforms that we're on, including my Substack, where I've written extensively about these corrupt government programs, their tactics, and the people behind it from coast to coast. And mainly, we talk about community-oriented policing, COPS program, neighborhood watch, and this is all a conglomerate of an effort by the National Sheriff's Association, Neighborhood Watch, the National Police Chiefs Association, the National Fire Chiefs Association, Homeland Security Fusion Center, Citizen Corps, the FBI InfoGuard, and all these things together. We've got community-oriented policing. That's where everybody does their part in this holistic approach. We all want a safer homeland. That was a talking point. We want safer neighborhoods and all this kind of stuff. But what they're not telling you is individuals that are listed as under the guise of domestic terrorism. Of course, citizens never have a right to these lists or given an opportunity to contest their being entered on this list. How hard is to get on there? Well, their mantra is see something, say something. In other words, say it and tell it. So if your neighbor is nosy and a peeping Tom and she's always staring out the window, all she's got to do is go down to the sheriff's department and say, "Look, I believe they're in there making dope and cutting up people and eating them and stuff like that. I hate seeing none of it, but I see them. They coming and going sometimes in the middle of the night, and that's how I'm going. Thank you. They don't even ask her name, and they'll put them on the list, and they'll watch them until they die." Now, folks, that is as simple as I make it. That's how much proof that they need. That's how much proof that they need. I've got a problem with that. So on June the 12th, make sure I've got this right. Cynthia and Brian one of them went and they spoke with a judge. Is that right?
Oh, wait, no, we didn't speak with the judge.
Oh,
Yeah, spoke with the judge for the paperwork. Yes.
Brian had had a car accident a few years back. It had suffered some brain injuries.
Right.
Now, he wasn't retarded,
No.
rode off, or a crazy maniac, none of that stuff.
No, he was a working man.
He recovered from that. And, but recently, a few months ago, his behavior started changing, and he was having conversations with people that wasn't there. Now,
right.
For the layperson that's not familiar with this deal, this program, that sounds, well, that's crazy. And how many people listening right now talk to themselves other than me? I talk to myself all the time. So, I mean, when it's framed in the proper mind, most people will talk to themselves. They'll say things. That's neither here or there. It got anything to do with your mental capacity. I tell people, I was talking to myself. Every now and then I like to talk to somebody that I believe got good sense. So that's why I do it. So, Jason believed that there were people trying to out to get him and so forth and so on. This is indicative, folks. It's a classic telltale sign of an individual that is being covertly targeted by community-oriented policing and their methods and tactics. Over 8 million Americans annually are slated and targeted, harassed and terrorized annually. And that's a conservative figure, including veterans that commit 22 suicides a day, every single day. 22 veterans take their own life. We're not talking about that on the news, are we? Because we got other veterans participating in this program and they're feeding on their own. That's what's going on. Now, people just assume that it's PTSD or something like that or whatever. And that the Veterans Administration has got the best medical care known to man. Anybody that's a veteran knows that that's bullshit. Okay, so we'll tell the rest of the story here, folks. And so Cynthia and Brian, of course, they're concerned about Jason. He'd been walking around with a 22 rifle. Now, he had been up and down in the neighborhood, pointing at people, scaring people, and nobody complained. It wasn't anything like that. He just had it, and was carrying it around. And boy growed up hunting. They all hunt. And we in the South, and everybody's got a gun. And it really didn't scare or alarm anybody. But she was concerned and thought maybe a mental evaluation, something like that, was she's trying to help her son. They're trying to help their child because they don't have the answers. They don't know what's going on, but they're concerned, and rightfully so. But when we understand that the judicial process, that we've got a two-tiered system, what applies to us and everything, and what applies to them, that's two different things.
Yeah.
So they've got a judge makes an order for them to come pick him up and take him to a hospital. And the police show up, the sheriff's department. And we're going to let Cynthia and Brian take us on through it. But they didn't sign up for this, folks.
Yes, sir.
You got to understand, you got the SWAT team, and they've got all the bells and whistles. They've got rocket launchers and machine guns and tanks and robots and drones and people propelling out of a damn helicopter on ropes and all that stuff. They for one reason, they live for one thing, and that's to get into a confrontation where they kill somebody. All that stuff is made for that. Okay. And when they saw the paper that guy's out there and he's got a gun, that's all they need. They went out there not to pick him up, but it's hoping and praying that they could have a Bonnie and Clyde scenario. And by God, they got him one. And we're going to expose this stuff. So tell us what happened, Cynthia, when they got to your house. Just take us through it from a step from us.
Okay.
Right.
They got to my house. They called me first, and they said they were on their way. And then they showed up about 5 minutes later. I'm sorry at this camera. My hands are shaking right now. I'm sorry.
Have you got something to prop it on?
No.
Okay. Put a fruit jar, or a can of beer, or a bottle of whiskey, or something behind it.
You put it on your purse. Okay. How about your purse?
All right. Okay, I got it on.
What did you put behind it?
I just set it on top of my purse so I won't shake.
I guarantee you, I bet that purse weighs 50 pounds. Go ahead.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. After they called me and they said they were coming, they arrived here about 5 minutes. When they showed up, we told them, remember, he's got a gun. All of a sudden, they pulling their guns out outside the fence. We're telling them, no, you don't have to do it. My husband says, let me walk you down there. I can get him out. So they already had guns in hand walking down there. My son saw this.
How many of them was it?
Five.
Now,
Five.
Your son understands, folks. He's not broken the law. He's on his property.
No.
And he hadn't done anything wrong. So, of course, he's already being psychologically traumatized and screwed with by the do-gooders. That's my contention. Right. I'm going to stick with that. I guarantee it's what's going on. And so there's some people out there, and he don't know if this is a game or what the hell kind of trick they're trying to pull now. And so that's what's in his mind. I know the police ain't here to see me. I ain't done anything wrong. So he's questioning that. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Right. Okay. And when my husband walked the police down there, Jason did fire one shot up in the ceiling. He didn't fire at the officers. He did not fire at them.
He was inside of his little building, and he 22 rifle. One back could hear it, and he fired a shot. Now they heard what they thought was a shot. They don't know,
right?
Because so, but of course it's a metal building. Ain't no 22 bullet gonna go through all that, and they did was in there with a rifle. That seemed like that'd been a good time to back off. Said, look here, Papa, going in there. You said you get him out of there. Why didn't they go ahead and say, let's hold up a minute, before this gets out of hand. Go in there and bring him out and leave the gun in there. Did they say that?
They wouldn't let us.
Oh, hell no.
They wouldn't let us. No. We begged them to back off. I called the police department. I was on the phone the first time when they got here before all SWAT did. I begged Matt Haley to stand them down, back them up. My husband told them to leave. They wouldn't leave.
No, they told me, I said, when they went to pulling guns everywhere. And I told them, I said, no. I said, y'all ain't going to do this. You ain't going to kill my son. I'm going to be right here, watching what's going on. Because y'all ain't going to kill my son. And when I said that, I don't know if they got mad or what, but one of them girls, a cop, come over there. She said, you got to go. Well, start with, they told me, get behind them when we went down there. That was another thing. I couldn't even get in front of them. Yeah. Get behind them.
Yeah.
And so we got down there and he fired a shot. Well, that's when it really got started. They went to running around like wild Indians or something, pulling guns and just, getting set up and ready. And I told him, I said, no. I said, y'all ain't gonna kill my son. I see what y'all trying to do already. I said, it ain't gonna happen. And I said, I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna witness what y'all doing. Yeah. And he said, that cop come over and she said, you gotta go. I said, I ain't going nowhere. Well, I wasn't gonna go with this other cop over there, a guy. He hollered, he said, you either gonna go or I'm gonna put handcuffs on you and take you up that hill. and
Who said
put
that?
you in jail. And put you in jail.
Who said that?
One of them cops.
All right.
We haven't got all their names yet.
We ain't got them. I don't know them. But
Right.
anyway, so I said, look, I said, I would just want to be, y'all ain't going to kill my son. You ain't going to kill my son and nobody be a witness. And that's one of them cops hollered. He said, you either get up that hill, I'm handcuffing and put you in jail. And that other cop said, let's go now. Well, I started going because I didn't want to go to jail. And so I said, come on up here. And we got up here to the gate. And my daughter was there, and she just got here, and she was hollering for Jason at the gate because the cop done told us we can't go back there. And one of these other cops come running in here like something wild and screamed at her, hollered at her, get out of the way. And she looked at him, and then next thing you know, they said, all y'all going down the road
To leave.
to leave the house. And one of them, I come inside. I said, well, I got to get some water. My mouth is dry. And my wife, she already had a water on the couch right here. And that cop come in here screaming, you ain't getting nothing. Let's go. You know, she didn't even get no water. I ended up getting her water. She didn't even get no water.
But anyway, we were down at the end of the road there. Okay, it wasn't like 5 minutes. SWAT was here. They were more than 100 cops in my yard. You hear me?
Yeah.
They brung over probably.
Over how many?
Oh, probably over 100.
Over
At least
100. Now,
They really at least 100.
folks,
This wasn't supposed to happen
this
this
is
way.
classic. This is classic. A classic example of a militarized police that have been glorified as heroes, and they're not anything about them a damn hero. They got people rolling the red carpet out, first responders, and all this kind of bull crap.
Yeah.
And they take an oath to uphold, protect the Constitution, which they betrayed that oath. They lied. They put their hands on Bibles they've never read, swear an oath to a God they don't believe in to protect the Constitution they think's a piece of garbage. The first responders are those individuals that have died and bled out in other countries in fighting. And these wars, it's our military by the hundreds of thousands. Those are the first responders. And they've got people wearing badges, have desecrated, have become nothing more than treasonous, tyrannical enemies of the state. And we think that it's one way until that day comes and you realize that all the things that you thought about these people was slightly, more than slightly wrong. I'm quite sure, Cynthia, Brian, that prior to this happening, if did you think, was you under the false assumption that if something really bad happened and if you had a serious problem and you had to call law enforcement and that those people would be there and they would help you, protect you or whatever, did you think that at one time?
I thought that. I thought that at one time.
Thought that at one time.
Do you
That's
believe
why
that now?
I did it. No, sir.
No.
Okay,
I would never call them.
Okay,
I
now,
never call them.
we realized that when Austin Hines in Lowndes County, Mississippi, a 19-year-old, made some music videos. His whole family had been targeted, still are, and he grew up watching that, being harassed by perverts and creeps and everything else with the sheriff's department, and he made one song or something about fuck the police in it. I don't remember. They went to him and said, you don't take that off. No, I'm not. They made that, so we're going to end up having to kill him. And lo and behold, 19-year-old Austin Hines, at broad daylight, unarmed, did weigh 90 pounds, soaking wet, was slaughtered, gunned down in the street like a dog. Over 100 police was there on the scene and involved. And they finished him off with a shotgun blast to the back of the head. where his family couldn't even have an open casket. Now, you know how many of those deputies and cops have been held accountable? Zero. Now, so when a cop kills another citizen, protocol is Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is asked to come in and investigate. And folks, that's just a dog and pony show. The Attorney General Lynn Fitch, Mississippi, co-signs on this crap. So it rolls downhill. They're not held accountable. We, the people, are going to hold them accountable. They're not being held accountable, and they've got free run to do it however they want to do it. Go ahead, Cynthia. So 100 of them showed up.
Okay, and they had probably
you headed somewhere. Where are you going?
The dog was barking.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear it. That dog couldn't. Ain't no way that dog barked over me. Go ahead.
Anyway, they had about $250,000 or more equipment out there. You hear me?
Yeah.
They had some kind of little robot. They had the shields that they put in front of them. They didn't use none of that, where they could have used that robot and pushed my son's shed over and my son would still be alive. Or when they had those shield things, that protect them, when they put them flash bombs in that shed and they busted that door open, all they had to do is go in there with them shields. That didn't have to happen. It didn't. And SWAT team is the most meanest people I ever seen in my life. You hear me? Again, I heard gunshots. I know the difference between gunshots. Yeah. I know a 22, a rifle, whatever.
So he shot. Y'all heard me shoot the shed, and these cops started fanning out snipers, getting all around the property.
Right.
And what was you doing? What was you trying to defuse this?
Yes, I was trying to talk to them. Please back down. Please don't kill me. Don't hurt my son. Y'all back down. My husband even asked them to leave in the beginning with. They should have left the first time.
And it was a lie. I heard somebody was telling me it was on news that they said my son run from the house down there and was shooting at them and run off in the shed. That was a lie. I was with them.
He was already in the shed.
Well, we got to understand that they wasn't there serving a warrant, folks. They was not there searching for a suspected felon or anything else. It was a simple
murder
Baker Act to come out there, pick him up, take him to the hospital. But they did not come out there they come out there to kill somebody.
Yep.
That was the plan.
They did.
So you was trying. So you got manhandled during this deal by one of them. Did you say that?
Yes, I did. I was sitting in my daughter's vehicle at the end of the road where they had their little camp meeting, get together, and I heard, like I was telling you, I heard the boom, boom. That was the flash bomb. Okay, and then just 3 seconds later, pow, pow, pow. Now, my son did not shoot any time during those shots. You hear me? Okay. And instantly I knew something was wrong. I started screaming. I'm telling you, I knew something's wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, SWAT man comes up to me. His name's Mike. I forget his last name right now. Anyway, he's coming towards me. I'm sitting in the truck. I'm on the phone with dispatch. I'm trying to figure out what's going on because there's different shots fired. He comes up there screaming at me, "You get off that phone. You get off that phone now. You understand me? I control this situation. I will put you in handcuffs and take you to jail."
He was twice now. They threatened the dad to put him in jail. Threatened to put Brian in jail.
Right.
Yeah.
Threatened to put her in jail. And this, remember Uvalde folks, when they sat there for 2 hours, they let them children in the school continue to be slaughtered because they were too busy to keep the parents, to keep them from going in there and save their own kids. Okay. And of course, these cars don't run. They don't run into schools. They don't run. The only thing they do is some kind of coward move of trying. They was focusing their attention. They had one thing in mind. We're going to kill him and y'all go back off or y'all might go to jail or get killed. That's the deal.
Yeah. They had to have intentions because, man, everything was here. And then SWAT team was here no more than, I know, 5 to 10 minutes later. SWAT had to be down the road.
They've already posted up, folks. You see, they knew something that Cynthia and Brian didn't know. What did they know? They knew what the deal was. They knew they'd been screwing with that boy. They knew what time it was. And in order for them to have their Kool-Aid party and doing high fives, another one bites the dust. They've got to have a follow-through game and show how the whole mechanism works. From see something, say something. So we finally gunned them down like an animal on their own property when they have not broken the law. He hadn't broken the law, folks. He was in his own apartment, and they heard a gunshot in there. There's no way they could have possibly ascertained if he'd taken his own life or what the hell's going on in there. And so she heard the flash bang, grenade, and then heard the shots. Now, here's where it gets interesting. How many times was it shot? 8 times or 9?
He was shot 6 times. Now he was shot 6 times in the back and 2 times in the arm from the back.
All from the back.
All from the back.
So, if you like this here, we got 2 in the arm and 6 in the back.
Yeah.
Y'all picking up what we're putting down here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He was executed.
Yes, he was.
Now, if he tried, now the sheriff, what's the sheriff's name?
Matt Haley.
Now, how many times did you try to call Matt Haley during this deal?
2 times.
And did he ever call you back?
Nope.
Did he ever show up?
Never seen him.
No. We ain't heard from him.
Ain't heard a word from that coward.
Nope.
That coward. Let me tell you something, folks. Down in Harrison County, Mississippi, every person that went down there and pulled the lever for that tyrant, I want you to know, you share culpability in this crime. Blood is on your hands. And God forbid, if that coward criminal comes up for re-election, he doesn't get perk walked and thrown under a federal penitentiary. That's probably where he needs to be.
Amen.
Go down there and vote for him again. Then let the whole world know where you stand on American citizens being slaughtered with our tax dollars. And you co-sign him with it. Somehow we're going to excuse it or green light it or whatever. You got the fake news down there. The newsreader could wait to put that story out there, make it headline news, but they made sure the family said he was delusional. Okay, so they're trying to say it was the family's fault. The family had something to do with it. It wasn't framed up proper. It should have been a SWAT team showed up and murdered a resident. We got a lot of questions. They would never do that. They're only going to go off what the crooked criminal with a badge says. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That story don't ever change. It ain't going to change. They're going to stick with it. There's not an investigative journalist amongst them. All they do is read. They're readers, news readers. They don't do anything but read. They're do boys, whatever they tell them to read. And people just can't wait to tune in and listen to that BS. Now, the reason the story won't change, you said, well, if that story changed, how many other stories probably changed? Every damn one of them. And they're not willing to take that loss. Okay, so that's why the story don't change. That's the same reason Big Tobacco forever would spend $50 million or $100 million fighting a $1,000 lawsuit because they couldn't afford for anybody to get a win or a W because it would change the whole deal. And they finally, the opposition got a W. I don't know if anybody remembers, that was Attorney General Mike Moore. He was Attorney General of the state of Mississippi. He's the one that spearheaded that deal at Big Tobacco and changed the whole deal, and it cost them billions of dollars. And the state of Mississippi got billions of dollars in that settlement. And that was 20 something years ago, 30 years ago. And guess what? Every last cent of that money is still stuck in an account somewhere and can't nobody touch it. I mean, am I the only one that sees the problem with that? Taylor Reeves, the governor, he can't get his hands on it. legislator controls that deal. You see, Taylor Reeves is just the puppet, folks. He's just the poster child for clowns. And but the real criminals, these people operate behind the scene, making sure everything is business as usual, like the Attorney General of the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the state of Mississippi, Lynn Fitch, and her step and fetch it, Sean Tindall, the Commissioner of Public Safety, and directly responsible for MBM that's going to do this investigation. We know good and damn well that what the deal's going to be. Okay, but I'll just save that for save yourself the bliss of what they got to say about it. But what they gonna say about it is they gonna co-sign or whatever the coward sheriff criminal says. So that's the deal. And so 8 gunshots, folks. 6 in the back and 2 in the back arm.
And the arm was broke. I forgot about that.
Now, so we know he didn't have a gun pointed at him.
No,
I mean, he would have had to have his hands up like that and then pointed back like this right here. Okay,
he was coming back out of there.
Ain't no way the math ain't working on this.
Okay? Well, MBI did admit that he was killed in that shed. So if he was, MBI did admit he was killed in that shed.
They blew the door off.
That's all they would tell me, sir.
So the door was blown off the hinges.
It was blown open with those bomb things.
Yeah, how about that? Well, they had bombs and everything. That's some shit.
Yeah.
Hold up. They tore the lock off of it. No, they tore that lock off.
I mean, boy, I tell you what, I can't say enough about these people here. Who is this? One told you he'd take you to jail was Mike Gardini. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Mike
that's him.
Gardini, El Succarini from Italy, and we're gonna have that switch header, cocky looking. I was gonna have to trim it down there. I'm gonna put him on there, and I can tell you that I'm quite sure Gardini that Cynthia, either one of them had to go over again. It would have been a different story as it pertains to you.
Yes.
You'd have had it to do. And,
he was the one in charge.
Yeah, he was the one in charge, and he told you this is my scene. Blah blah blah.
Yes,
Parking out on my ass. You ain't running shit, but your mouth. You went over there and you murdered somebody. All of you are responsible for murdering an innocent citizen. You're going to have to live with that the rest of your life.
Yes.
Heads should be rolling. People should be going to jail, but they're not talking about it. The national news, ain't nobody heard nothing other than that little story that the news readers did. WLOX, is that what it is?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
WLOX.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
So what else? After that, you heard all that. You knew something had happened to Jason, and walk us through.
And then the coroner came. Finally, the coroner came.
An hour later.
But I already knew.
Oh, and didn't they say we're trying to get calling police?
Yeah. I asked that dude. I said, one of them cops. There's so many. I didn't look at the name tags.
Hundreds of them, folks. God, hundreds of them. Hell, they live for this.
I said, well, what's going on? He said, we're trying to get Wiggins, Hattiesburg, Stone County, just on and on people, And I'm like, what do you need all that? To myself, I didn't say that. I'm just looking like he was crazy. Why do you need all that?
Because they look, these heathens want to strut in front of their peers to show them how well equipped, how they get down. That's what they do. They love it. They love it. They love it. That's all they want. It had to do with Jason. Had everything to do with them and all their shit out there and how they could come in and kill somebody. And again, we don't know where the coward in chief is. He had reared his damn head. I can't believe people have voted, put some sorry son of a bitch like that in there. That is that. I mean, he would take off. And after this, he had bothered coming out there. Nothing. Nothing.
Nope.
You know what? He don't give a shit. He knows they ain't going to do nothing to him, but they can do whatever they want to do.
Right. Right. I tell you what hurts so much about this is, I'm the mama. I'm the one that went and had this done, these papers. I feel that I helped them murder my son.
You did. They framed it up. I will tell you, Cynthia.
That's what they
Brian, it's not your fault. Don't you dare continue to have the devil try to quick fix the blame and put it on you. It's always blame the victim. They blame the victim. It's always the victim somehow is the one that's in the wrong. These people that keep getting killed all over this country. It's their fault. And it wasn't your fault. You were doing what you thought because you thought that the system was really what everybody thinks it is, and you thought things really worked the way you thought they did, only to find out that's all bullshit. You had no idea. You'd have known that, and you'd have been just a little bit wise. That you'd have never done it.
Would have happened like that.
You thought they'd come out there and say, "Come on, talk to him, get the car, take him to the hospital, blah blah blah." But you had no idea that those people sitting there, the judge included, are sitting there like with bated breath, couldn't wait. They love people coming in like that. So, well, we got you. We're gonna help you. Oh yeah, got another one, honey. Let's go. And that's the way that works. It's not.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say this anyway. When they got here, I'm gonna tell y'all they act like they were on something. Steroids, drugs. I asked for drug tests. I asked for drug tests. Now I did because I've never seen.
Well, nobody gonna get on drug testing. Look, if it wasn't, those are the people, folks, that make sure there's plenty of dope on the streets. Okay.
No, yeah.
Without, I mean, if they can't, they're creating the crime. That's called job security, and of course, they hopped up on everything. It ain't just steroids.
No, it's not.
These illegal steroids through the mail. That's felony. That's felony.
Yeah,
but that's one of those. That's one of those felonies that they just overlook.
Yeah, but they had to be so evil.
So why does somebody that's got machine guns and grenades and tanks and rocket launchers and Kevlar and robots and vicious dogs and dope whores and everything else at their disposal? Why? Somebody tell me why. They need to be getting pumped up in a damn gym, looking like something out of a damn comic book. What's the purpose of all that? Because they might get in some kind of physical hand-to-hand combat shit. Really? No. That's what the triggers and the bullets are for. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. I got this other story. My son reached out to his boss for his boss to come over to make sure that these cops was real, because he didn't see them as police officers. He seen them as people trying to kill him.
I believe that.
Okay?
I believe that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so Donnie, somebody got Donnie's phone number by doing the tag number because my son had the work truck. They called him. Okay, Donnie told them what was going on, that he wants him to come over to the house. So make sure y'all officers, he wants me to tell y'all
this. That's right. He's trying to figure if it's real or not. I'm sorry if his boss said, "Look, they're real police. Squad talk to ain't nobody trying to do that."
He would have come out.
This thing would have ended like it's supposed to. But they ain't gonna have that. Go ahead.
No. Okay. And then the who called him, I don't know who it was, said, "Okay, we're gonna get right back to you." He waited, nobody called. So he come up here to the end of the road where they had block offs at. He told that officer what Jason had said, that he needed him to come tell him that these was real police, because police don't act like this. He told his boss. They said no, they wouldn't let him through. My son would be alive if he had let his boss come over here. My son would be alive.
Yep.
Now you tell me what they were up to.
We just said what they was up to, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they was up to, folks. This is not a one-off or an exception or anything else. Folks, this is business as usual.
Yes.
This is business as usual. I'm going to be real clear, folks. I want to be real clear. I do not, nor have I ever, uttered the words of backing the blue. Okay. I don't. I still don't. I do. I back the red, white, and blue. I back the Constitution of the United States of America, and all those things that the blue hate is we've got a First Amendment, and that First Amendment is that freedom of speech and expression. And if that doesn't work out like it should, we were given a Second Amendment, wasn't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
By God, they don't like to hear that. That's
No, they
reason for the
don't.
Second Amendment. If the first one somehow is subverted, but folks, that is the state that this nation's in, especially right here in the dirty South. Folks, if people think that things have changed, it's not like it used to be. It's not like it used to be. It's a hell of a lot worse than what it used to be. Okay, it has regressed to biblical proportions. You can believe that. What happened? We all went sideways here. Okay, there we go. Now
I'm back. Somebody was calling. I'm sorry.
That's way look. The devil ain't got nothing but time to get on the phone. That's what they was trying to do to me when we started here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they wouldn't let his boss communicate with him to tell him it's okay.
And they had a phone back there too. The cops gave him a phone.
Throw the phone
to him.
Throwed it up under that door.
Yeah, because his went dead. His phone went dead. So they threw a phone, and
So
and my neighbor also.
Well, they threw a phone over there, folks. This is role play. It's theater. Okay.
Yep.
On paper,
And
it's theater. We put a phone over there. We tried this. We tried that. Folks, y'all can see what we're talking about here.
Yeah. And also, my neighbor tried. He talked to 2 officers out here and said, "If you let me go let me go back there, or let me call Jason, on that phone they had." He said I could probably talk him out of there. They wouldn't let my neighbor do it either.
No, they won't. They did not want to de-escalate. No, hell no. We're not. No. We can get all this stuff, and we got all this armory, and we got all this stuff here, and not go use it. Because folks, if they ain't gonna get, if the thought of them not getting to kill somebody and destroy some lives, they'd have to go back to being a door greeter at Walmart. But that's the only console. That's the only thing that keeps them in the loop is knowing that hopefully today will be the day we'll get out here and knock the dust off this stuff.
I hope so, because this woman, his mama, won't quit till my last breath. I will get justice.
And we're not going to quit either.
I'm not going to
quit. Cynthia and Brian, that you're not alone in this. People that are watching this, they're gonna ride with you on it too.
I pray to God, and I thank everybody. I pray.
And folks, if you folks watching, we need prayer. They need prayer.
I need prayer
because
bad.
Let me tell you, God sees all this, and He's not amused. He's not laughing. And I promise you, He didn't loophole and gray area and anything that happened on June the 12th in Harrison County. And folks, that's just one thing that we've talked about in Harrison County. How many other lives, how many other people, how many other crimes? Only God knows. But we know one thing. We know one thing. We're not going to stop. We ain't going to shut up. They're going to get tired of it. They're going to do everything to try to they're going to attack the messenger. And folks, anybody knows me, knows this, that give it your best shot. I don't do what I do because I am in fear of somehow of some crooked, demon possessed tyrant, a competent attitude.
Right.
My only fear is that if I don't expose what these people are doing, then people's lives will continue to be destroyed. I'm not going to have that blood on my hands.
That's for sure. That they will be destroyed.
I saw this story. I can't. It was just really a kind of just a fluke that that it even came across my radar. But somehow it just it popped up, and the headline: SWAT kills this man and family. Said that their son was suffering from delusions, whatever. When I read that, my world and everything stopped. The orbit, it stopped. I said, "Hold up a minute! Whoa!" I said, "Don't tell me that the SWAT team that showed up and killed somebody in the news is trying to make the family look crazy somehow."
And, I'll never understand that.
I understand it because this is how the deal works. Okay, this is how the deal works. And so the rest of the people get the news. That's what they've tell them that it's just how we're gonna frame it up. And so everybody's thinking they hear that. Well, they said he was crazy, and the family's the one that got him over there and all that kind of stuff. Ain't nobody looking at it like it really should be looked at, like it really happened. And it ain't nothing like that, folks.
No.
Y'all heard it. Now you've got the rest of the story. And everybody's like the way that they were trying to frame it.
Right.
That's the reason criminal coward with a bad sheriff hadn't reared his damn head. That's his WLOX is his spokesperson.
Oh yeah.
And of course, you hadn't heard anything from Attorney General's office either, have you?
Nope, not yet. They said it could take up to 90 days.
Let me know when Lynn Fitch or John Tyndall gives you a call, and
I will.
Yeah, okay. And folks, nobody hold your breath on that, okay?
I know.
Trust me.
No.
That's a phone call that won't never happen.
Nope.
Did you think these are public servants? But they don't look at themselves as public servants. They look at themselves as the people that are simply the subjects of their rule and domain here in the state of Mississippi, and they ain't got to answer to nobody. And the only time they're really trying to play nice is when they are trying to get votes, or they're going through those motions of
you're exactly right.
Electing somebody, And everybody just assumes that those elections that all fair and square and all that. And I think that Americans realize right now that it ain't working. We thought that was what was going on. Everybody assumed it was the deal, but nobody's really started to question it. I question everything. I'll start questioning everything. I'll start questioning everything now.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah. That's why it's hard to get somebody that's got a moral compass, a good person, and as a sheriff, as a police chief, and stuff like that, because there really ain't no room for somebody that really believes in God, that's not a fake Christian, that really does pray, and really does care about other people. That kind of person, they don't want them in there. They want somebody in there that can pretend that, but they can't really be that. Okay,
right, right.
Can't really be that. So they wasn't a God-fearing person out there.
No, sir, they wasn't. They were. You could tell they were demons running around here.
Somebody's got God in their life. They know right then. Say, hold up, we're not going to be out here. We ain't finna kill nobody. We're not finna destroy this family for the rest of their lives. This mom and daddy.
And we told them.
No parent should ever have to outlive their child, especially in a horrible, tragic situation like this. This wasn't an accident, folks. This was a premeditated murder.
And we told their daughter. We told them that he had a daughter, 16 years old. You think that bothered them? No.
No, they don't care. No, they care less.
They didn't. They didn't bother her a bit. I mean, they didn't care. They just went in there. They didn't even. I don't know how they. Honestly, I don't know how they killed him, because this door is shot to pieces. But
from the inside,
they shut that door. When they kicked that door open, when they jerked that door, they threw them bomb things in there. That boy couldn't hear nothing.
You've got crazed maniacs out there, unhinged, crazed maniacs SWAT team, we'll never know what the hell happened. But we do know this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bullet wounds in the back.
In the back.
In the back.
All right, let's not forget that.
No,
In the back.
No, sir.
The boy was
Now,
giving up.
What kind of person shoots another person in the back?
In the back.
Evil.
Evil.
Only evil.
Wanting to kill somebody.
Oh,
They want to kill.
They come out there to do it.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Okay, Cynthia, Brian, anything else that you
No.
want to say right now? And folks, for too awfully long, when y'all ready, I'll be more than happy, and everybody else, to get an update on this deal and have y'all back on. This is not going to be something, folks, that we talked about it today, and then you hear more about it. When I tell you that that I'm committed, USAGSA is committed to a deal. Those that know me should know me well. We ain't got no involvement in anything to do with letting something go. We ain't gonna let it go. We gonna let it go until something happens, and we want something to happen.
Yeah,
And,
I want answers.
We want these police. We want more answers. By God, we want these people held accountable.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
We
Yeah.
don't want a story. We want a sob story. We don't want none of that crap.
I want them to stand for murder.
We want these people to be investigated and charged for the crimes they committed. That's what we want.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
that may
right.
be a tall order, but it shouldn't be a tall order
No.
because
Nope.
we have laws in place. But these coward criminals and these prosecutors and judges and police are hiding behind qualified immunity and judicial immunity and that hogwash. But you're not protected by this, boys, because this was a clear, willful, deliberate attempt to kill somebody. It wasn't in the heat of the moment or anything else.
No.
Give it every opportunity in the world to de-escalate. You did not want to do it. And you told the mama, told Cynthia to shut up. You'd lock her up, told her dad shut up, lock him up.
Yeah.
And, guess what? They ain't shutting up now. How did that work out for you?
No. Never will either.
Nope. Never will. Never will.
And folks, I just want y'all. I appreciate y'all coming on, and I'm asking everybody to pray and continue to pray.
Please, we need prayer
until we see justice. Well, folks, that's it. Share this relentlessly, and welcome your comments down there below. And until next time, God bless you.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed.